Alright, so in my last video, I told you I was going to make a long string of lights as opposed to single lights. Now, I actually went ahead and made that, but then I realized that the lights are never spaced properly, or you end up with this big unwieldy thing with a bunch of lights on it. And also I was worried that it might catch on fire. I was worried that it might catch on fire. So what I decided to do was to make individual lights that are a little bit more rugged, because the tumbler full of light, they're great to put on a shelf or whatever where you've got a solid base. But what if you don't have a nice solid base to put something on? Well, I've kind of figured that out in this next little light tutorial, and I think this is going to work out fantastic, and I hope you dig the video. This is okay, so let's get started. What we're going to need, that's perfect. What we're going to need is some sort of wooden base. This is a corner shelf that I bought a few years ago and never used, so that's going to be my base. A standard Hubbell electrical outlet. This was $1.99 at Cops Lumber here in town, but you know, you can go to any discount hardware store, you might get it cheaper, but it was $1.99. And it is a Hubbell 54151-L electrical box. You need a box mounting light socket holder thingy. This one's made by Cooper in Mexico, and handles up to 250 volt light bulbs. 660 watts at 250 volts, I guess is the maximum. You need a Robertson screwdriver. You need some sort of lamp cord with the end stripped about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I need some screws, but they fell on the floor, so I'm not going to show them to you. I'll show them to you in the cutaway right now. Alright. So, start with, you take your base, and you want to put the box sort of central on your plate. Doesn't have to be exact, because if you're never gonna, these things are never gonna appear in the frame in your videos, or if they are, well, I don't know, make them prettier somehow then. But anyway, you got this. Now there's some screws protruding out the bottom, and that's fine, because what will happen is when we screw the box down, they'll dig into the wood and stop the box from moving. So you can leave those. Okay, so these screws, which I'm not going to show you in a close-up, are called self-drilling screws. And the reason why they're called self-drilling screws is because they have a little drill bit-like thing on the tip of them. And why that's important is if you're doing these projects, and like I said in the last one, try to use the simplest tools that everybody might have, rather than using a drill driver, which is what I would normally use. It's just and it's done. Using these type of screws makes life a lot easier. He said. All right. So I'm just going to use 2. You can use more than 2 if you want. There are 4 holes, but I think 2 is sufficient myself. And there you have it. It's really sturdy. It's not going to spin or anything. It's really on there good. No matter how violent you get with it. You're golden there, my friends. So we've got base, electrical box. Here's our plate. And here is wire. Okay, so you want to take your 1" of stripped wire and just bend it over to make it easier to get it into the box. There are 2 holes. I don't know if you can see them on the side of the box. And you just want to push them under the strain relief until they pop out the other side. You've got enough wire going inside the box, like so. One of them is your positive. So whatever side, if you have the end of your plug, if one of the conductors is brass, that's your positive, and you're going to attach to the brass side on your jack plate. Okay, and then your the other one, whatever one that is going on the silver side of the plate. Now, this is a 2-prong light socket, and basically the way a light bulb works, it's not really hypercritical that you get this perfectly right. So don't worry about it too much, but as always, if you can do it right, do it right. So we're just gonna bend this over on itself. What you don't want enough exposed wire that it goes round more than once. You just want it to sort of hook round once, and then that's it. One and done, as they say, is how you want to do this. And just screw this one down. Make sure it's good and tight. Then on your other side, okay, and you just want to get this back. Now, there are 2 screws that hold the plate on. If your plate's like mine and one side's got a slot where it slots in the side, you don't have to remove that screw all the way. You just have to remove it far enough so that it'll slide in. But on the other side, you have to remove the screw completely. So just put this, okay, loosen that off a little more. And then that should slide in. Like so. And on this side, thread the screw through the hole into box on the other side, and you just tighten her down until it's good and tight. It's not going anywhere. Now, these are plastic, so you don't want to over tighten them, because if you over tighten them, you're going to crack the plastic. They just have to be snug. They don't have to be cranked to within an inch of their life. And you're ready to go. Take your plug, and we'll plug it in. Now, as you can see, it's not burst into flames. It's plugged in now. It's not bursting into flames or anything. Take your light bulb. In it goes. And there you have it. Very simple but effective lamp that you can make. For those of you who have no interest whatsoever in shooting video or anything like that, don't worry. The next few episodes are going to be about music, about enjoyment of music, and about pitfalls that musicians often fall into throughout their music career. And it should be sort of interesting, like I said, for those of us who are not into making YouTube videos or films or what have you. But yeah, stick around and we'll get into some interesting stuff. Feel free to send me email if you have any show ideas or helpful suggestions. Again, no negativity. But if you have something, just it's the email address is ztubeshow@gmail.com. ztubeshow, all one word, @gmail.com, and it'll be here somewhere. And I'll put it in the description. And if you want to check out a show in Second Life, feel free to also in the description take a link to my Google Calendar, find out where and when I'm playing in Second Life. And I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing some shows on Street Jelly. So if you have anything good or bad or helpful to say about Street Jelly, maybe you perform on Street Jelly, maybe you are someone who watches videos of musicians performing on Street Jelly and you got something to say, again, ztubeshow@gmail.com. And that is that. Please like and subscribe using the like and subscribe buttons, and turn your notifications on, so that way you get an email when there's a new episode. That's it for me. I'll see you next time.